We're now being joined by Michael Owens, President of the US Global Center for Cyber Policy. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on World DNA.
You're welcome. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, my first question to you, of course, let's start with the basics. What are the challenges and the difficulties when it comes to countering deepfakes?
I mean, without a doubt, the biggest challenge when it comes to countering or regulating deepfakes, it stems basically from their increased sophistication and the fact that we see them almost everywhere now, and it's really making their detection more difficult. You know, in addition, like the speed in which new deepfakes can arise, the new technologies and techniques that are used for deepfakes, constantly emerging, causing like a increasing aspect for just a plethora of new challenges that we see along that. You know, at the U.S. Global Center for Cyber Policy, we continue to see a rise of the use of deepfakes across all social media platforms that are not using any labels. There's no way to know that they're actually deepfakes. And that's really a big challenge, knowing that what's coming from generated AI and what's not. You know, a couple of years ago, we were talking about misinformation and disinformation and how that was the latest discussion. Now, talking about AI only fuels the misinformation and disinformation and makes it harder to determine what's real and what's not.
Mr. Owens, you know, it's impossible to differentiate, as you just said, and that is essentially what I was going to ask next, because as we are seeing that artificial intelligence, it is evolving. Deepfakes, I mean, this is something we had not heard of a few years ago, and now we're already seeing even biggest world leaders falling prey to it. At least their images are widely available. Any public figure, anyone whose account is public can be susceptible to deepfakes being used against them. I wanted to understand from you, is there any possible way of limiting the scope and the usage of artificial intelligence or deepfakes going forward?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this is the largest challenge that we face, not from a technical perspective, but really looking at complexities from an area around ethical frameworks, which really drives us to international collaboration. I think, looking at ethical frameworks, having international collaboration, transparent policies is really the best way that we're going to fight or combat AI development and the deployment, because we have to get our arms around this. And, I've been seeing some of the actions that have been taking place on the global level, which is really where we're looking to see leadership arise and things that are happening. The World Economic Forum, they launched an AI governance alliance specifically to unite government leaders, academic leaders, people from private industry, a lot of what we're doing as well, to really champion the responsibility that we all have around the global design, around the release, the transparency of all of these AI systems. I think I've also been taking note of what the United Nations been doing around their global AI alliance that they've been building to really kind of look at how AI impacts humanity. And that's really what I think what we're talking about when we formulate and discussion around deepfakes is really the humanitarian aspect around it, because how we're truly fooling people, again, with the misinformation and disinformation. But, I like what I see coming from the United Nations, from World Economic Forum, again, fostering this aspect of we have to have international collaboration, ethical frameworks, and true transparent policies to really be able to combat this.
Right, so you speak of the aspect of its impact on humanity, and of course that is what I was going to come to next. Now, these are just some of the challenges with deepfakes. We're barely scratching the surface here. As AI evolves, there will be further challenges as well. What are some of the challenges that you have been able to identify that perhaps these sort of technologies can pose in the future as they evolve?
Well, I think it's important within the context of our conversation not to solely focus on the negative aspects. I mean, we understand that this is something new, and it is a bit scary because it's evolving so fast, much faster, as we know, than any of the policies or frameworks or laws that we can put around it. But there are sufficient benefits to AI, and as we see it across the entire landscape of industry, across innovation, we look at health and medical field. Even with what is happening in outer space and our exploration of the stars and the cosmos. So, why we are right to be very inquisitive and cautionary when talking about AI. I also want to take just a minute to ensure that we are acknowledging the positive aspects of AI as well.
All right, Mr. Michael Ovens, thank you so much for joining in on World DNA with us and sharing all your insights. Of course, this is something which is only going to evolve going forward. We'd love to have you on the show again.
Thank you. I'm always happy to join. Y'all have a good day.